Hello there, everybody. Welcome back. I'm here to be talking about another edition of SBID, aka Sawyer Breaks It Down, number 22. And this one hurts a lot because, obviously, as you tell, I'm a huge, gamer. I'm especially big into like PlayStation. I've played it like since 2009 was when I really first got my PS3. I've been a huge fan of playing the games, and obviously, physical media is, as you could tell, I love physical media, and I get in recent years it's kind of fallen off, especially when there's more convenient ways like having stuff digitally. But there's still a lot of people out there that want to preserve it, especially because there are so many cases that we know of games or movies just disappearing forever, like movies that on Disney Plus or Netflix or whatever that are like originals, and they go on the service and then quietly they get removed, erased, and there's really no way to be able to access that without maybe pirating it or something, which is obviously never a good thing. And so this news of PlayStation, this now infamous tweet that they put out about a week ago, I'd say, has caused an uproar in so many ways. And I just want to give my quick thoughts on it because obviously I'm very, to put it mildly, pissed off about their decision to do this, and just the simplicity and just I don't care type attitude that they had when you actually click one of these links to read it. Again, infuriating, because PlayStation doing this is now going to open the doorway for many other big companies and corporations to also stop doing physical media. And like I said, if this starts to happen, which it looks like we're going down this path, and it's been on that trajectory for a while now, but the fact that PlayStation has, fired the first shot and no, we're going to stop doing this. I mean, we still have a few years, because I believe January 2028, I believe, was when they said it's going to be official. So hopefully something changes then. Maybe there's enough uproar. And I know everyone's like, well, this is all online. People in real world don't care. But I don't know. I know a lot of people that I talk to and a lot of people I see, they do care. They may not be the loud, majority of people say, nah, we love digital, it's more convenient, it's more accessible and all that. But I still think you need to still preserve this. Same with how I feel about how movie theaters are kind of on the outs. They've had a great year so far in the first half, but we need to preserve that. Being able to walk into a GameStop or a retro store and maybe coming across potential fellow fans and fellow friends that you can make. I think that we're missing something here by losing that, and I think it's really disheartening, and I don't like the way that it's going with the end of getting out there and that type of way, and being able to shop around and grab physical stuff, or just like I said, having it where no one could take it from you. These are not going anywhere unless I sell them or something. But it's my choice, my decision on what happens to these. And I don't want a corporation or, online digital or whatever to take something that I buy away, which, it could happen. There's always that possibility. If you potentially lose your account, all these games are on that account. I mean, sure, there's game sharing and stuff, but there's just so much more risk for stuff being digital than having the actual physical copy on hand. And I just really wanted to hone in on that I think a lot of people, I really hope we stand up to this, because this is outrageous. It infuriates me to no end, and I think a lot of it should have been a telltale sign, because we all remember not that long prior, I think at the end of June, we had GTA. It came out that they were not really going to have any physical copies of GTA 6, and how we were all enraged and furious when that came out. Now, looking back, you kind of wonder, did Rockstar know that PlayStation was going to pull this nonsense? And that's why they wanted to get the head start on kind of lessening the blow or whatever, because that's insane. That, you know, that it gets me so angry. I'm actually pretty furious about this, and it's just ridiculous. I will say though, what I do like is obviously the camaraderie. A lot of us fellow physical media fans are coming together, and seeing IGN of all people, which I know kind of gets slacked on and dogged on, sometimes rightfully so, sometimes not so much, but they are one of the main advocates of the physical media. And if you just go on their social media, you could just look at all their stuff. But I think this one is so incredibly, I wouldn't say petty, but just hilarious. They basically are throwing this back in PlayStation's face, how they're like, when Xbox made that infamous blunder, which kind of destroyed that, you know, I believe it was Xbox One, like that whole momentum that they built up with their previous consoles, and PlayStation was able to get ahead. And, you know, obviously you have that video of two higher ups at PlayStation, you know, how do we play, you know, a PS3 game or PS4 game or whatever, and it's just handing the physical box or whatever to your friend. And obviously that ages terribly now because of this idiotic decision by PlayStation. So I just think that's funny. And also we've had a bunch of corporations come out with their disdain and of this decision. And obviously there's a ton out there. I remember there was this one from like DeLorean Labs, G Fuel, Burger King Brazil, KFC Spain, I believe. There's so many, but I wanted to highlight my personal favorite from the GOAT, Domino's. Again, incredible. They're everywhere. There's a bunch of corporations, big and small, that are putting out little statements like that, basically making fun of the digital media thing that PlayStation was putting out. And they were saying Domino's was going to go to digital pizza, which is incredible. But again, we're all able to at least come together and mock this nonsense that PlayStation's doing. And you also have a bunch of fans with their own physical media, which you may consider childish and kind of like, really? So you really don't have nothing else better to do than to do this? But you know what? I think it kind of gets a pass here, because it does look great. You have a bunch of people doing this, which, yeah, I mean, maybe a bit immature, maybe a bit childish, maybe stupid, but it kind of hits. Like, I can respect that. That's kind of funny. But yeah, so that was basically all my thoughts on this. Will PlayStation change their mind and not do this? It's hard to say, because corporations, especially those that are that big and kind of have a monopoly, because, I mean, PlayStation does have some competitors, like I said, Xbox, you know, Microsoft or whatever, you know, Nintendo's doing their thing, but they are the big, you know, juggernaut, really. So it's hard to say if they will relent, or will they just plow forward, just drown out the noise and just do what they think is best. Because as we know, some of these corporations, when they really think something's good, they want to just do it anyways, despite the backlash. So we'll see how it pays off. Obviously, I'm really upset about this, and it infuriates me, but there's nothing more we could do than to just vent our frustrations and just let our voices be heard, and hopefully something can be done. Maybe some higher ups somehow can, you know, be like, hey, no, this can't happen. But with all that said, thank you all so much for checking out this new video of SBID, aka Sawyer Breaks It Down. And if you want to, you know, let me know down below in the comment section, what do you think of this developing news? Because it is still developing. Last I saw, I don't even think PlayStation has responded or made another statement since this huge backlash. So we'll see what they do. But again, thank you all so much for watching. If you want to hit the bell as well to get notified of when I upload, that would mean so much to me. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.